June 9th. And at this time, I will indicate that we have all members of the council present, and those on the council acts as planning and zoning, the members of the council. And tonight we have Mr. Cunningham, who is the Mayor Pro Tem, Ms. Lane, Mr. Caffey, Mr. Moon, and Ms. Perkins, all present. And with that, I will lead our invocation tonight. Most loving Father, we appreciate you and we thank you, and we know that we are blessed beyond measure. Father, we ask that you guide and direct us tonight as we make decisions that impact this city and the citizens of this city and those who live here and try to do the best they can do. Father, we ask that you help us to be the servants that you would have us to be and do the things that we should do and do the right things. These things we ask in your name. Amen. At this time, I'll call the public hearing, and tonight, Mr. Alwyn Klinkenstein has requested to rezone property 802 West Market, Honey Grove, 75446, from a single-family one to a manufactured home. And at this time, we are open the public for the public hearing. If there are those who would like to speak in this regard, now is the time to come forward to do that. I should add that we do have one person from the city who has written a letter, and I'll just read through it in terms of his opposition to this proposed zoning change. Again, at 802 West Market. This is located down on Market Street near the park. And this is what Mr. Lee, this is Glenn Lee and his wife, Matta. Dear members of the Planning and Zoning and City Council, I am writing to express my opposition to the proposed zoning change in my neighborhood from a single-family residential district to a manufactured home district. I respectfully urge the city to deny this request because the proposed rezoning is incompatible with established character and intended use of our neighborhood. Our area has been developed and relied upon as a single-family residential neighborhood. Property owners purchased and invested in their homes with the expectation that surrounding land would remain consistent with that zoning pattern. Changing this designation to allow a manufactured home district would introduce a land use that is materially different from the existing development pattern and could undermine the stability and cohesion of the neighborhood. I am also concerned that rezoning one area in this manner may set an undesirable precedent for future use decisions that are not aligned with the long-term vision of this community. Most importantly, zoning decisions should promote orderly growth and protect compatibility between adjoining properties. A change from single-family residential to a manufactured home district raises serious concerns about consistency with the surrounding neighborhood and whether the proposed use serves the broader public interest. For these reasons, I respectfully request that the city deny the proposed zoning change. Thank you for considering my comments and for your service to this community. Sincerely, Glenn and Matta Lee. Are there any other individuals here who wish to speak on, for, or against this proposed change? With that, I will close the public hearing and we will move to the... Oh, we do. Come forward, please. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm new here.
You'll come to the mic, please.
Sure. So I would just like to add the only reason that we requested this is my father was helping an elderly lady buy a piece of property with a mobile home, thinking that mobile homes were allowed. He was told they were, so he went and purchased a mobile home, he paid for it, and then found out that mobile homes were not allowed. So that's the only reason we're requesting this. We understand the community is against it, but we figured we might as well try it. The mobile home is sitting there. We have until the end of the month to move it. If not, we're paying $100 a day for letting it sit there. So it was kind of a bad deal going into that, not knowing that land wasn't mobile home friendly, so that's the only reason we're asking for this. We don't even like to at this point. We understand the community doesn't like it, but we figured the mobile home's purchased, and the reason he's doing this is an elder lady that's really helped my mom with her health, and she needed to stay close to her grandchildren. They found this piece of property and asked my dad for help, and here we are. So I appreciate your attention to this matter, and any decision that you come up with, we will appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got another comment to speak.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we can't speak.
Come on through. Thank you. We are in the public hearing. Are you here to speak for or against the rezoning?
For.
If you are, this is the time to come to the mic and do so.
Yes. Sorry, it's my first time here, so I'm not sure what the protocol is or whatever, but we live over there in 713 Market with real close property that is supposed to be rezoned. I just want to say I was in favor of it, so I'm not sure what else is not supposed to say. That's pretty much it.
All right. Thank you. Are there others here that wish to speak? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing at this time. It is 6:07. We will then move now to the discussion and action item. A is Mr. Alwyn Klinkenstein requesting to rezone the 802 West Market Honey Grove 75446 from single family 1 to manufactured home 1. We're open for discussion. Discussion?
Has the property already been purchased?
I am closing, it's going to be Thursday.
Okay.
So the mobile home is currently on it, correct?
No.
It is not on it. Okay.
We're waiting for the closing of the property in this meeting to before we can move it. We have to move it by the end of the month.
I see.
Do y'all have a secondary choice?
No, we looked at one, but it looks like it could be a few months before that property is even going to be ready that we can move it on. So right now we have time.
Other questions?
Did y'all go through a realtor when you purchased the home?
Miss Anita, do you know if that was a realtor? Even my father did that.
The house, the mobile home purchase was through a realtor, the land purchase was not.
The realtor should have done their due diligence.
Do we have, what am I trying to say, the zoning, my mind is going totally blank. Limits on ages. It looks like this was manufactured in 2011, which is pretty old for a home to try to be moved in at this point. Not really sure how that would, if that affects code, is what I was looking for. And I don't know if we have a code already in place for these types of situations at all.
Do we have a designated area?
We do have an area that's designated for these homes have been there for a long time. They're down between let me think of the streets. 13th off 13th, between 13th and 14th. There's an area there where we have homes that are there. This area has not been designated for anything but this particular rating for single family. And it's, of course, been that way for, you know, historically, so.
Where's the manufactured home at now? What's the location? Is it close or?
Do you know, John?
Ravina, Texas.
Ravenna? Okay. Has it been moved before, or was it just purchased and left there all this time?
Yeah, I've been purchased and set out there, and not occupied until, during COVID time, the current owner had occupied it at that time, and we'll upgrade to it at that time. So it's only been used for 5 years.
It is generally difficult to explain to people who have invested their, you know, their money and their time in their homes in an area, and then to go back and to rededicate it or rezone it. That makes it rather difficult, and then it kind of sets a precedent where we end up. It's difficult to explain to somebody in another part of town why the planning and zoning doesn't rezone those areas. And there's generally a reason why the zoning takes place and why these zones are set up is so that you end up having similar homes in the same location.
But I made a comment, I should have done this when I was at the mine.
Now you're going to have to come to the mic, please.
Sorry, I should have said this when I was up here before, but prior to any of the purchases being done, I had to stop by City Hall, and I unfortunately got some information that was not correct, because I wasn't sure what the zoning would be, and I had asked, shown the listing of the house on realtor.com, house listing, so which side it was, and before we spent any money whatsoever, I had asked if this would be something that we could do, and I was given a package for an application for a build, for build. And I had to understand that it was all good, and that's why we went ahead and spent the money. It was a miscommunication, which is unfortunate. We could have gone a different route. So, and that's.
Thank you. Questions, comments?
Sticky situation. I hate it for them, but we have rules and we can get tickets.
I've been in this situation before, but I was in their spot, and it's a tough deal.
Yeah.
Especially since they spent the money already.
Yeah, I hate that they've spent their money.
Yeah, these are the hard decisions that planning and zoning is called upon to make. It's usually not always very pleasant, but they're called upon to make them. So,
My concern is, I hate that they have spent the money and not be able to move forward with it. But what about all of those other residents in that area that have spent the money?
Yeah.
That are going to be affected by a mobile home or a manufactured home being brought in?
yeah.
Didn't they reach out?
Well, we have to. Somebody going to say something?
Didn't they reach out 200 feet, supposedly? Yeah. Did everybody agree to that?
The only person that came back was the Rossers. And then,
Could you
I'm
all,
sorry, Mr. Lee.
could you all speak up if you don't use the mics, please?
The only people that reached back out were, the Lees, and then these people that live close to them, or came to talk, but this is a list of people we sent it out to, if y'all wanna look at that.
I think Mr. Lee had some very good points in his letter, points that were brought up by people here, and I would say that it's probably in the best interest of the city to not rezone this. So if I need to make a motion to that effect, I'll make a motion that we not rezone it, that we leave it as It is.
I would second that motion if that's a motion.
Motion was to
Yes.
Mr. Moon made.
deny, to deny.
Oh.
Was it?
What did we do wrong?
So I need to pass it to the council and make the motion in the council meeting.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
There you go.
Do we have a second? We have a motion from Mr. Moon and a second from Mr. Kathy. All in favor, raise your right hand.
Wait,
We
wait,
need,
No,
we
we
need
gotta
to
go,
move
we
it
gotta
to
close out, and go to
the
Oh, I'm
council.
sorry. We have to
And we're
close it.
still in planning.
Yeah, okay, you're just sending it on to
Sorry.
council. Good deal. All right, if there's no other comments, and I need to be sure that nobody has any more to say, we will close the public hearing and move this. The recommendation is to take it to the city council. And we had a second from Mr. Kathy. Do we have all those in favor of that, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. All right. All right, that brings us to our,
hold on.
yeah,
You can, this is on this agenda to discuss and take action right there. He was on the right one. He closed the public hearing. He moved to discuss and take action on it.
Take action to move it to the
yeah,
council.
I think that it is on the agenda for us to take
Does it
action.
need to be taken to the council, or can it be
Yeah,
done by planning and zoning?
yeah, it was put on this agenda to move to take action tonight. And this is the way Hamilton helped us.
Yeah, this is way.
Yeah.
It's not on the agenda, it's only on the planning and zoning.
Yeah.
So you can take it, you can take action on this. right?
Yeah. All right, so what is the act? Well,
Wait,
that's what
does
I
he
was
need to
expecting,
reopen?
some sort of action.
No,
Did he already
he closed it, he didn't give it time, but he closed it.
Okay, so reopen it, I guess.
Okay,
This is from Hamilton, I took this over, okay.
But he needs to reopen.
I would say so,
Reopen.
and then take action.
all right. All right, we reopen and take action. Oh, discuss and take action. We've had discussion, so what is your pleasure on action? And please speak up or use your mics.
Bill's already,
I don't think my mic is on.
Ready for state?
does Bill need to restate his motion?
Yes.
We restate your motion, Mr. Moon?
All right. I would make a motion that we leave it as it currently is and not rezone this property.
And I would second.
We have a motion to leave the zoning as it is, as single family one, and not rezone. We have a second. That's Mr. Moon. We have a second from Mr. Kathy. Is there further discussion from the council? If not, all those in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. The motion is from Mr. Moon. Most votes yes. Ms. Perkins votes yes. Mr. Cunningham votes yes. Mr. Kathy votes yes. Ms. Lane votes yes. So the request to change the zone is denied. Okay. Now we're going to move into the regular agenda for the city council meeting. And I'll close that meeting at 6:19, and we will open our regular council meeting at 6:19. We're going to get there.
We are, we're gonna get that.
All right. I'll call this meeting to order. Do we have a,
Before you start the next meeting,
are they
I
working?
don't think any of the microphones are working, I do apologize, so everybody will have to just talk up.
Okay, you're all going to have a shout at me.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready? Is it working?
We're trying over here.
Huh?
There we go. Hello? Test? Hello?
Is yours working?
Yes, mine is.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
I can hear you moving.
No, that's me.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, I thought I heard something.
I think it's just me. I'll speak up.
Okay.
Okay. You'll just need to speak up, I'm sorry. All right, I will now call this meeting of June 2nd, June 9th, a meeting of the City Council meeting. And again, we have Mr. Cunningham, Mayor Pro Tem, Ms. Lane present, Mr. Caffey present, Ms. Perkins, and Mr. Moon present. All council members are present. And we've had an invocation, so we're going to move to the public forum. And if there is no one signed up to speak in the public forum, and so I'm not going to go through the spiel that I give if you're going to speak in public forums. No one has signed up. So, all right, we're going to move to item 5, which is consent items. You had in your packet the minutes from the previous meeting, City Council special meeting of May 12th. Then we had the City Council meeting May 12th, and then we had City Council workshop May 26th. You have in your packet the liabilities and disbursements, City Secretary's report, the Police Department's report, the Utility Department report, and the Fire Department report. So you have all of these reports, and unless there is some reason to pull something out or some correction, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent items.
I'd like to make a motion.
We have a motion from Ms. Perkins that we approve the consent items. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second from Ms. Lane. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. At this time, I'll ask if there are any presentations or pieces of information only that the mayor or the council would like to present. This is no action items, it's just information items that you'd like to share.
I did. I received an email from one of my clients that lives in Texarkana today. Said that he had passed through Honey Grove one evening and saw the pavilion and remarked on how good it looked. So kudos to the chamber for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice when you have people who stop and say, I like what's happening there. So, and congratulations to the members of the chamber. I would, if nothing else, I want to share with you that I had a call from Judge Blake, Laura Blake today, and there's an individual who is going to, Mr. King, who is wanting to promote within the county daffodils. And she was calling to ask if Honey Grove would be interested in participating in this project. This individual has a source where they can get daffodil bulbs for $1 from Southern Bulb Company. And they would like for cities who are interested to agree to find a location in town where you could plant 200 or more bulbs of daffodils and begin to have this happen all over the county. And I told her that we would ask her to come to our next council meeting and talk to us about it and explain this. And there is actually, during the county fair, they're going to have someone that will be there who owns Southern Bulbs, who will talk about planting these bulbs. Judge Blake first approached Mr. Caffey, the other Mr. Caffey, and asked him to bring this to the council meeting. And so this individual will be at the county fair October 9th, and she's going to come at our next council meeting and talk about this. I told her there were 2 groups that might be interested in promoting this and helping do this, that we have a beautification committee and we have a Chamber of Commerce committee. And that both of them, one or both, might be interested in participating, and the city would find a spot perhaps that's city-owned, and it would mean that in the spring when they're blooming, that you just have to leave them standing until it's time to cut them down. You just can't cut them down immediately in your mowing. So anyway, it sounds like a lot of fun, and it sounds like a lot of opportunity for the county to take part in an event that will promote the beauty of the county. So that's what I'll share. Anything else from the council? All right, at this time, we're going to move, there is no old business that we need to take action on. The new business is consider and take action on these items. A is release funds of $6,500 from the sale of the property of parcels ID 94767 and 94770. And we have Mr. Dalton, who's here tonight, and his colleagues, and he's going to come to the mic and tell us what they're going to do. We're always happy when people come and they're bringing money to us.
Mayor, City Council, my name is Richard Brown. I am one of your attorneys. I work with Linebarger Law Firm. A couple of months back, maybe more than a couple of months back, somebody approached the city about purchasing a couple of pieces of property. There was some confusion in the ownership of it. I think the CAD may have mislabeled the city as the owner when the city was holding it in trust for all of the entities. The whole situation was brought to me. We're going to be able to sort it all out, but what we're going to need to do is just, the city took the money in, when we just need to be released to us. At that point, we'll distribute it to the appraisal district, we'll distribute it to the district clerk. There is some money left over above and beyond the judgment. We'll get all of that handled and sorted out. Our absolute intention is to bring this back to the council next month with the city's portion of the excess proceeds. The city's portion of the taxes themselves will come in the normal weekly or monthly disbursement from the appraisal district. So you'll get that immediately, and we'll come back and we'll have the deed filed. We'll bring the deed back to you next month and have it all taken care of. It's nothing that other cities haven't done before, and we're able to fix it. We just need to get it started and get it moving.
Questions?
What properties are these? What property?
I don't know the street address.
They're just identified.
Well, it was 12th Street. 12th Street,
12th Street?
not this side, other side of 56.
Okay.
Anything else? We appreciate it. And also, let me introduce Maranatha.
Maranatha. It's a mouthful.
Lingerfeld.
Yes, there's no easy way.
There you are.
Lingerfeld. And I'm an attorney as well, and I work with Richard. I'll be helping it up here as well in Fannin County.
Of course.
With Linebarger as well.
Yes.
And Miss Kathy.
The most important person in our team is Samantha Caffey.
Yeah.
No relation.
Yeah, no relation.
I
I think you spelled her name with an EY. Yeah.
So I see y'all quite a bit.
Yeah. We've been working with her for a while. Yeah. We appreciate your being here, and we look forward to your coming. We'll put you on the agenda for the next meeting.
Yes, sir. We'll be
Thank
here.
you so much. And you all can hang around with us and visit. Go ahead.
Do we need to take action on this?
Yes, sir.
release
Yes.
funds?
Yes, sir, you
We need to release funds to them tonight so that they can come back next time and give us some money
Yeah.
back. So-
Yeah.
Okay.
So we do need an action.
Yes.
We need a motion.
I motion that we release the funds of $6,500 from the sale of those two parcels to Linebarger.
Second.
We have a motion from Ms. Lane, and do we have a second? We have a second from Mr. Cunningham. Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you all. And again, you're welcome to stay to the end of the meeting if you'd like, or you
I got home today with an AC that's smoking, so I have a tech at my house right now.
good for you. All right, thank
Hopefully
you
we'll
all.
get it fixed today.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you next month.
Thank you. We'll see you on next round.
All right. Get over to the right spot. All right, the next item on the agenda is the aerator for the sewer plant. And let me just say this, Mr. Massey has brought this to us. You have in your packet a picture and a description of the aerator. And we had the option, Mr. Massey came before the council and indicated that we could buy a part of the aerator at a price, or we could buy the whole aerator for the price of $13,513. And the aerator would be used when the work is done with the sewer plant down the road. And the money is in Mr. Massey's budget, and he is recommending that we go with $13,513 and buy the aerator as it is, the whole thing.
I have one question. Will the aerator, I'm sorry, I know we're talking about the motor, but the other part, was that interchangeable with the new complete unit as an extra part if it ever went bad or whatever?
Yes.
Okay. I'd make a motion to move forward and accept the cost of $13,513 to replace the surface aerator for the utilities department.
We have a motion from Mr. Caffey that we take the recommendation from Mr. Massey and go ahead and purchase the aerator for the sewer plant, $13,513. That's in his budget. We have a second.
I'll second that.
We have a second from Ms. Perkins. Anything else discussion? All those in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. The next item on the agenda is the police and code enforcement for Dodge City, and we have the mayor of Dodge City here tonight, and he's been here and chatted with us. And Chief Dixon has spoken with the leadership of both Wyndham and Dodge City, and during that conversation has suggested to them that we would, for Wyndham, we will go up $100 from the fee, which makes that fee $900, and for Dodge City, $900 a month as well. The leadership, my understanding, has agreed to that. Okay, and with Chief Dixon's recommendation, we would suggest that we approve the agreement between Dodge City and go ahead and continue the Wyndham one. Is that correct? Discussion.
When they are doing the enforcement over there, do we still have an officer on duty here?
We do now, don't we? Don't we still have an officer on? Yeah, we still have one here now for Wyndham. Further discussion? Anything at all?
Are you ready for a motion?
I am ready for a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion that we accept or do a agreement with the city of Dodge City to do police and code enforcement at the cost of $900 per month, pending their approval with their council.
We have a motion from Mr. Caffey that we go with Chief Dixon's recommendations, pending the Dodge City's council's agreement with all of this. Is there a second? Second from Ms.
Do
Swain.
we need to add Wyndham in on that since we raised?
Any further discussion? With that, no discussion. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Sir, take it to your council and see what they say. We appreciate your being here.
I hope we get this all worked out and put it in work.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
I saw Donnie today. I asked him if he'd like to come run this meeting tonight. He said, not on your life. Okay, we're going to move on then to food truck permits. When this came up, actually, this really was just the question was just about whether or not we charge people who set up out at the pavilion with the Chamber of Commerce. And the reality is, it wasn't anything to do with what happens downtown, David Crockett, any of that. And I'm just going to say this, that I personally have no problem with the chamber having food trucks out there when you have them out there and doing whatever you do. And so this issue was just that part of it. It had nothing really to do with all the other. So is there other discussion about the food trucks? Now, what that really means is that the chamber does what the city does. We rely on the vendors to deal with the county and to meet county requirements. And so if the county comes over and asks for their certification, their permits, well then they should have them. Otherwise, the city, when they set up downtown, I think we charge $25 for one day and $50 for a whole year. And so, but we don't get into the health department stuff. That's between the vendor and those folks. So the issue is, do you support the chamber having their food trucks out there? And so
what you're saying is, when the food trucks are at the pavilion, no permit is required to purchase unless they're downtown, and then they have to purchase a permit?
I think what it means is when it's a chamber event and they have food trucks that come either to the pavilion or for Davy Crockett Day, that we don't require a permit. Whereas we would if they were coming on a Tuesday night and setting up by the Warrior Sign. We would require that.
Yeah.
Because that's not a chamber event.
Those independent things that come every week. Yeah.
Makes sense, thank you.
Is there any, and if I'm misunderstanding, tell me.
No, that's
There's no issue, it's just a
Yeah,
clarification.
yeah.
No, because I had already told them that I didn't think that was steps or it was on the
Yeah,
agenda.
So
That's how it had been in the past.
Yes.
yeah.
Brandon,
Further discussion.
I just want to let you know, for you, there's a new state law coming July 1st, they will not do county permits, it's going to be a state permit. So they don't want to do it in the county, the state is going to kind of cost it for the food truck, but
Yeah.
But they can be anywhere in the state. That's good.
Yeah.
So they're going from the county permit to the state permit.
Yeah.
But the cities can still charge their one-time permit.
What it really does is it puts all of it back on the chamber in terms of their folks that set up out there. That's where we are.
Yeah.
Any further comments? Do I hear a motion?
Do we need a
I think
motion?
we need a motion.
Or can we just
I think
move
it's
on?
Well, we can. But it's clean if we just say we don't have a problem.
I'd make a motion not to have a permit for chamber events, for food trucks.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Okay. We have a motion from Mr. Caffey that for chamber events we don't, the city doesn't require a permit. Is there a second? Second from Ms. Lane. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, that brings us now to the Honey Grove Pavilion lease agreement. Mr. Hamilton sent some additional wording to the lease, and let me just first of all say this, that personally, my only concern anytime the city is, that city property is being utilized by anybody, and we're allowing them to use it. I believe the city needs to have a lease agreement for those folks to use it, and they need to take the responsibility for that particular piece of property. That's just my own personal opinion. And so that's what we've done with the pavilion. We did that with the lake. We've done that with the golf course. We did it with the armory up there. So we just, it puts some responsibility on the folks who have the property. And so I personally have no problem with the whole thing. And so what I'm suggesting is, and we've talked about this before, is that the chamber would take over that block that's been designated with the pavilion and the property, that 2 acres that's there, that particular plat. And the agreement would be spelled out in a similar one that we had with Mr. Calvin, Calvin Loftus, that we've had with him. And you've seen that. In fact, Mr. Caffey drew up something very similar. Now, Mr. Hamilton has suggested these additional, the language in the agreement, and you have a copy of it, which is, and I'll go through it quickly. Access granted by this agreement is limited to nonprofit functions, and the chamber is restricted in its use of the pavilion for exclusively public nonprofit functions. Commercial, retail, or for-profit events are not permitted. Community events such as a farmer's market or a food truck event are allowed, provided, however, that the chamber cannot participate in the proceeds, profits from vendors, either directly or indirectly. Financial issues at such events are limited to assessing a cost for participants, vendors, based on administrative safety issues. The chamber may not sublease, assign, rent the pavilion for a profit basis. This agreement may not be assigned to a third party. As part of the consideration for this limited access agreement, the chamber agrees to maintain the pavilion, keep track one, and that's what that is, clean, manage the vegetation, control litter, and rubbish. And so, personally, from my perspective, I'm recommending that the chamber assume the responsibility of the lease for the pavilion.
Does there have to be a monetary consideration?
Does there have to be what?
A monetary consideration on the lease?
I don't know that there does.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, we don't have to add, we don't
Okay.
have to add this if you don't want to add this. It was just a suggestion.
No, I think this is great, and I was just gonna say, if there had to be a monetary consideration, I would say for $1.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't, yeah, I don't think so. And the way it's set up is that it's, and you structured, Mr. Caffey structured it this way, is that you have it for 1 year up to 4 years, 5 years, I believe. But by the year, they come back.
It's a 1 year agreement, and then 4 years after that, they can agree every year.
There was a question as to whether or not the chamber's insurance liability would cover certain things. And I'm assuming you have a broad liability insurance. So, further discussion.
And would this include the sign and the parking over there that was discussed as well?
Well, we've already given them conservatory of the sign, and so that area there across from the pavilion is just parking, and the sign they can do with what they want to at this point. That was the agreement of the council. Yeah.
Do you have a question, Courtney?
Yes, the storage building here, because I know it's not in the plat, is that considered part of that little area?
Yeah, in fact, the storage building, I think we'd had the discussion about you all using that little storage building.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay.
So
we will have that written in so that it's in the lease.
what I sent Mr. Hamilton, it is included as is the sign.
It did include it.
But I don't have a new agreement. I don't know if I'm supposed to send that to Hamilton with this language if we want, or if Mr. Hamilton's going to draw up based on what we talked about.
Yeah, and he can add that if you all choose to add that part. Yeah, and he can bring it back to us. But we can take action on this and have him do the language.
I motion that we enter into a lease agreement with the Honey Grove Chamber of Commerce.
I second.
Hold tight.
Okay.
Sidebar.
Sidebar.
Second it.
Okay. As part of this agreement, the electricity is, I don't think it was included as part of it originally. I still feel like the city should pay that.
Yeah, and we are.
If it got crazy, then of course
Yeah.
it would be a conversation.
Yeah.
But
We had that conversation, and I think that's, it's on out there, and it doesn't cost us much, really.
can we make sure that that's included as part of that lease agreement?
We can have that added in, that the electric electricity is being paid by the city.
I mean,
Yeah.
3 or 4
We
years down
we
the road,
pay
if
for
it's different.
everything else.
Yeah, if it's different council members, at
Yeah.
least that wouldn't be a question.
Yeah, we'll add that in, so is that your motion?
Yes, sir. I motion that we add the electricity to the lease, and grant that lease agreement to the City of Honey Grove not the City of Honey Grove, the Honey Grove Chamber of Commerce with the information that Brandon had prepared as well as
Let's,
yes.
So we have a motion from Ms. Lane that we grant a lease agreement with the Chamber of Commerce, and that we include in that the building and the electricity and the additional language that Mr. Hamilton has proposed. Is there further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to.
I'll second.
We have a motion. We have a
She
motion.
motioned, I'll second.
From Ms. Lane, we have a second from Mr. Caffey. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Chamber. Okay. All right, certificate of occupancy, adding the changes. If you'll remember, it was recommended at one of our last week. This certificate of occupancy and all of this, we've gone round and round about this for a long time. It was recommended that we go back to the 2020 version, and I think the council accepted that we go back to the 2020 version of this ordinance, but that we add a couple of things to it. And it's my understanding there were a couple of options that were suggested. One recommendation was that the landlords all register their properties. If you have rental property in Honey Grove, that you register it with the city. There would be no fees attached to that, but it would just be knowing who has rental property in town. So there would be no fee for that. It was also suggested that the landlord co-sign when the individual gets their water. That was one option. A second option was for the property to be registered with the city, but that the landlord might consider putting the water, charging the water along with their rental. So they're collecting the water. Now that to me doesn't seem to feel very good, but that was one thing that was suggested. So the two items that basically we had talked about was co-signing and signing up, registering the property with no fees. Discussion.
I think that the water bill issues can be handled on a separate basis without being included in the certificate of occupancy. The change doesn't need to be made. That could be a totally separate topic. So all that would need to be added would be the registration of the real property with no fees, in my opinion. Other than that, we could go back to what we were using before.
Yeah. To me, regardless, especially if you go this route, it would be important that if the person renting your property, if you're going to sign as a co-signer, that you would be notified that they are behind in their water bill. That the owner would be notified. If he's going to have to take some responsibility, I would want to know if you're going to come back to me and want me to pay something. Discussion.
Well, that's kind of going to be true on all the utilities. When you think if they're behind on their electric bill and they move off, who's going to pay that electric bill? You know, same thing with the water.
You.
Gas.
You.
We're just glad everybody sent them to Terry Park.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
We all have their name written up somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, that's,
No, I think that the water bill can be a separate issue, it doesn't need to be included in the certificate of occupancy. So just the registration would be the only amendment to be made to the prior one, and then we can just pass that and move on, I think. Unless anybody else has anything else that.
Just have the water bill as a completely different conversation at a different time.
Is not part of the certificate of occupancy.
you making that a motion?
I will.
Okay.
I will make a motion that we move forward. Is it 2020 or 2021?
It's 2020. I believe it's, I have it on top, I think it's 2020. Because the others are 20, well, it may be, let's see, I have the,
2003,
I have the,
2025,
That was the
Yeah.
first night I was here.
We don't want 5 for sure.
2025.
is it 2021 or 2020? I think it's 2020.
2021. Yeah, I was
21,
thinking
okay.
That's what it's in the.
Yeah, it is, I have it right here. It's 21, the 2021. Okay, go ahead with your motion.
I would make that motion, we roll back to the certificate of occupancy ordinance that we had in 2021. And the only amendment or addition would be to include the registration of rental properties with no fees by the property owner.
Okay.
Can I step back on that a moment?
Okay.
What if they don't register it?
They should be fine. We need to follow the rules.
Can't take the water.
Yeah, that's the question. What happens if they don't register?
Do you want to add something about that? You do?
I think so.
Is there any chief that you're aware of that we can add?
There's an ordinance, violation of city ordinance. Just like loose dog and all the other ones.
Do we need to put a price point on it? Because the other one, failure to do whatever is double the amount of the permit, but double 0 is 0.
We would need to put a time limit too.
Sorry?
I'm not gonna talk to city attorney about that, with those houses, I'm not sure what they're doing. Those different orders, we got different filing on. I don't know, something like that.
What would you prefer for that fine to be?
I mean, it's a class, you can't be, you don't be a certain house. So
Yes.
that's what I'm saying, we can do it today, so we'll go back to
What class
Well-
is it?
C.
It's class C.
It's typical for them.
Well, this, as it stands, this really doesn't speak to a penalty, does it?
No, I think that's what she's saying is the problem.
Yeah,
That's
is
the
it-
issue with it.
And you know, I mean, I think it would have to, if you're going, if it's legal to have a penalty, it would have to be written into the ordinance, I should think. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you said, Rob.
Yes.
So,
So we need to discuss with Hamilton what that penalty could be.
yeah. We can do what we've done before with this. We can bring this to the workshop.
Are you,
Can we move forward with the with the certificate that they have to register it, and then next month talk about the fine so we can get it at least going?
Wrap this up.
Get something
But-
like that.
with the penalty to be determined?
Yeah, I mean, can we just
I'm
get it
Can
on
we
the
fill in the
books?
blank later?
Sounds good to me.
Because we're gonna wanna give people time as it is
Yeah.
anyway to
Yes.
register, so.
Okay, well, yeah, and the penalty, yeah. Who's gonna make the motion?
I can just add to the motion
Okay. There you go.
with the
I got you.
penalty and a time frame for registration to be determined.
Okay. We approve the 2021 ordinance with a penalty phase to be determined at a future time. Do we have a second? We have a motion, we have a second. The motion for Mr. Mann, second for Mr. Cunningham. All in favor? Raise your right. Motion carries. All right, this brings us down to the employee policy manual, leadership governance. Hamilton sent out something this week. I think, Chastity, did you give them
Yes.
something as well? And he directed us to a section here. Here's where we seem to bog down. I think as far as the basic structure, we worked through that before. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't go back to the policy manual and clean things up. But he sent us a copy of information minutes from changing the office structure at City Hall. Mayor Caffey went over how the City Hall is structured. One of the main concerns was the court clerk under the city judge, county judge, city judge, who is only in the office twice a month. Mayor Caffey stated that he would like to see the city clerk, court clerk, and water clerk all under the city secretary. The city secretary is the one who knows how many days off each employee has, can be the person that office staff reports to. Caffey also stated the utility workers would be under the utility director, and he would be adding another employee under him since he now has 5 employees. The police department and code enforcement would be under the chief of police. The mayor stated this would create structure for the office. Alderman Brandon Caffey inquired if anyone had spoken with the city judge about this matter. Mayor Caffey confirmed that he had spoken with him and that he was in agreement. Alderman Ashley Massey made the motion to change the structure in the handbook. Alderman Brandon Caffey seconded, and the motion carried. The issue, here's where I think we bogged down, and this is just my opinion. And I'm just going to tell you historically, this is the way it worked when Harold Roberts was mayor, and I was only here under Harold Roberts. Harold was mayor a long time. Generally speaking, the way things worked at City Hall was that, for the most part, the council, and Lee was on council at that time, the chief was on council at that time, and the way things worked is that the council, for the most part, was not engaged in day-to-day routine things, mostly. If something needed to go to council, it was taken to council, but day-to-day operation was left to the city secretary and to Harold to talk about whatever needed to happen. Money, big money, and policy was left in-house to deal with, and the council wasn't terribly involved. They didn't deal with much beyond that. And so that's the way it worked, and that's the way it worked when I came, because I just followed suit with Harold. So at this point, sometimes it's difficult for me when Chastity will say, well, what about so-and-so and so-and-so? Well, I don't know. I'm going to have to. And sometimes those decisions are day-to-day, routine kinds of things. And so I don't want to step on the toes of the council. The council is really basically in charge. I'm just kind of the figurehead. I sign all the documents. And, my name is on all the money. I don't know what that means. But that was kind of clean for us and then if we had an issue in-house, especially at City Hall, in the past, Terry Paul had been mayor pro tem, and very often, if I was going to have to talk to somebody and needed to converse with them about an issue, I called him and said, you need to come, or can you come and sit in the meeting? And Terry Paul would usually always come, or we'd arrange it so he could come. And that's the way Harold did it as well. When Harold had something that he needed somebody to be here, he called me, because I was mayor pro tem. And we would sit down and go through this. And then if it became a problem, it went to council. If we couldn't resolve it, we just said, we're going to have to go to council on this one. And then when it came to money, big money, I don't sign off on big money unless it is an emergency. And if Charles comes and tells me that I've got to have this fixed, that we've got to get somebody in here, then I'm going to do it. I can't wait till the next council meeting that may be 2 weeks down the road. So I don't know how you want to operate. And so
I think that's where the lines get blurred, because as the mayor, your function is to run the meetings and break ties.
and what?
And break ties.
Yeah.
So if that is what your function is as the mayor, why are you able to, and you, Harold, whomever it may be,
Whoever's
you
mayor.
in general, why are you able to make decisions for day-to-day operations?
On day-to-day operation? Because I'm the one there. I'm there every day. And I have been since I've been mayor for 12 years.
But if it's like with the water situation, which I know we're not there yet,
Yeah,
a decision was made that affected our citizens.
yeah.
So why would the mayor be able to make that decision rather than the council?
If it's an emergency and I'm there, I do it. I can call a meeting. I can always call a meeting if that's what the council wants me to do.
Well, no, I'm just saying I think that's where the lines get blurred.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's where it's always been kind of that issue. And so it's really an issue, and the council, this is an administrative decision. It's not my decision. It's an administrative decision of the council as to whether you want to be involved in every little day event that goes on. And there's things that go on all day long.
Well, and I can't speak for anybody else on the council, but I just feel like if it affects our citizens, they are the ones that elected us
Yeah.
to have those conversations
Yeah.
and make those decisions.
Yeah.
And the mayor was elected as well.
Yeah, it's like this.
But the mayor is elected to oversee meetings and break ties. And the council is the one that has the burden of everybody coming down on this when a decision is made.
Yeah. Well, invariably, when something happens, they point to the mayor.
I'm gonna disagree with that.
Well, I'm
So-
new, so I've had 2 citizens contact me personally. I really didn't know who I was supposed to reach out to. So I chose to reach out to Claude, because I didn't know. I don't have any rules, I don't have anybody telling me you need to talk to this person or that person. And I feel like when the citizen contacts a canceled person, as my job, I'm gonna follow through, make sure what the request is reasonable, make sure it's done, go through the right sources until it's completed, and then we leave on good terms.
No, absolutely, I agree with that. No, I agree with that.
I'm just saying, I
Yes.
don't know what to do or who to talk to.
No, I mean, I think, and I'm the same way. If a citizen comes to me, we need to resolve. Whether
Yes.
it's a resolution that they are happy with or not, there needs to be a resolution.
And it has to come from the council. Here's where we are.
Yes.
The council has to decide how you want me to function. Because I said within the last year, I can come sign papers and go home.
Right.
So I guess, for me, I don't have time to answer every little day-to-day operation question. I have a job. So I can't do that. And it makes sense to me, if we're talking about employees, that there be a chain that goes up. If Mr. Moon's working for Charles and Charles puts him on a mower and he doesn't like it, then he needs to address it with Charles. And if it doesn't get fixed, then it goes up the chain. He's the supervisor. He makes that decision. If that doesn't work, then he should have someone to go to. The problem I see is that if Mr. Moon's an employee and he's calling me one day for one thing and I say something, and he calls Lori for one thing and she says something totally different, then
There's the problem.
there's the problem. So I think there does have to be kind of a chain that would go up. It only makes sense to me that somebody that's here every day, and if he's not here, then we have a mayor pro tem that's here to make those decisions. As far as spending money and affecting our citizens, I understand what Lori's saying, but my issue is, what I can think back to is when the sirens weren't working and we had a storm come through and they didn't go off and people were in arms about it. Well, that's something that needed to be fixed. It didn't necessarily need to wait. You know, if something goes down tomorrow and we don't have a meeting for another 30 days, we have an issue that needs to be addressed pretty quickly. And the state has handcuffed us, so to speak, in that we have to post things within so many hours. And that can be a real problem, especially if it's our water or our sewer or something that needs immediate attention. And we can't meet for 3 days. Even in an emergency, we've got to have some flexibility, I think. Because I think our people are going to be really upset if we turn their water off for 3 days and say, well, we have to wait until we can really meet and spend $10,000 on X, Y, and Z. That's my
Well, that was an example, actually, when Lee called me, I think it was Lee that called me and said, the guys are here, they can fix the sirens. Did we fix them? And it was $40,000, I think,
No,
is what I remember. And I said, Lee,
It was 4.
4,000, okay. Whatever it was, I said, I was wrong in the amount. But whatever it was, I said, the sirens have to work. We've got to get them. And so they were here. Lee went ahead and told them to fix them. So, you know, I don't mind whichever. I can do whichever. Like I said, I can go home and sit on my back porch. I come down here and sign Chesty's checks and go home and sit on my back porch and drink iced tea or something else.
I think you're doing a great job, and I think it's good that you're there every day and checking in and seeing what's going on. I think that's a good thing.
I think there needs to be a clarification of emergent type situations, then yes. But if it's something that it doesn't need a decision, as in, we're gonna cut your water off and we're not gonna go knock on your door and tell you, I think that that's something that should go before the council. Because we're the ones that are getting the brunt of it.
Yeah. Well, and I don't disagree, and we're going to go into that issue
Yes.
as well.
And I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah, I know.
If it's an emergent
and I
situation,
understand.
then I think that you should.
I think what I need, and I'm going to say this, what I need is direction from the council as to how you want me to operate. Do you want me to operate on a day-to-day basis, going out and working with folks at City Hall, or do you want to handle all that yourself? That's what it comes down to. I have to be instructed.
I make a motion that we let the mayor, handle the day-to-day operations, as needed.
Thank you.
And I would second, but I might add that if in the mayor's absence, we would then move to the mayor pro tem, who's always around. You're welcome.
We'll be back up.
Do we have?
You go sit on your porch.
I'll go sit on my porch. Do we have any other discussion?
Well, another question, I had a citizen call me asking me about permits, having us check an address to see if there are permits there. I still don't understand, like, what is permitted, what is not. And for example, Chastity did her job. I mean, she said this information, and this is the 2 pieces of paper I received. I went online, you can't even look at anything. I went online and bought all this information, all this stuff you can print off without calling anybody. Why don't we have this kind of stuff on the website here in Huntington? So I take problem.
That's another issue now. Let's take care of the business before us, okay? Please. Let's get back to it. Well, we can discuss that at some point, but not this moment. Okay. Yes, sir.
Does this motion need to be reflected in the handbook? Does it need to be, any amendments made to that, like we did previously?
I think that's a good idea.
I think it's already in there.
So there'll be,
I gave it to y'all.
So we're not really changing anything, we're
No,
just,
Well, we're just clarifying.
okay.
Are you talking about the
Yeah.
chain of command thing?
Yeah, I think it goes, it has
Page
council.
17.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Lori's right, it's in the same box. On page 17,
Yeah.
mayor and council are in the same, so they're on equal footing according to the organizational chart. So that might need to be changed.
That's what he's saying, mayor and council.
Does it need to be in the separate box though?
Well,
Because it's kind of the same, we're just giving him jurisdiction to handle the,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
it's over my pay grade. I honestly, I don't.
Yeah, let's just leave it like.
What are your thoughts?
It's on page 17, the paperwork they gave you.
Yeah, that one's there.
Yeah, it's page 17.
Okay. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it like it is.
Yeah.
We just extend that authority.
I think it's probably good, Bill. We're just
You think it's
clarifying.
fine the way it is?
It's on record, yeah.
Okay. Lori? All right, we have a motion. We have a motion, we have a second.
What was
We
the
have a
motion?
second, we have a second, I think.
Wait, what was the motion?
We have a
Motion
motion
what?
and a second, I believe.
Let him do daily.
Mr. Cathy was the second, Mr. Moon, I think was motion.
No,
Terry
I
Paul.
made the motion.
Well, Mr. Cunningham.
I believe it's her.
Okay.
On the adding Terry Paul, that we would go through
Oh,
there.
yeah.
and then-
We got it.
Okay.
All those in favor? Motion
Who
carries.
seconded?
Tell
Sure.
us.
Okay.
Who seconded?
I will try to do the best we can.
Brandon.
I thought Terry Paul
Mr. Cunningham made the
seconded.
motion, Mr.
Yeah,
Cathy.
So he motioned it, I seconded it, but I added him
I
back in.
hung myself.
He hung himself.
Any city council meeting can have Woodward's. This is-
Okay. Let's move then to water cutoff policy, and this is where we go, yeah. And let me say a couple of things here. Mr. Hamilton has also sent something out on that as well. And basically what he said that we need to do, let me back up and just say this. At some point, and I don't remember which council this was and who was on the council, keep in mind that every year, potentially you have a new council. But at some point, the council, we were sending late notices through the mail to people who were late. And what was happening is that just like the bills themselves going out, that sometimes were late getting to people, the late notices didn't get to people in time to make any sense for them to get them. And so the council decided not to send out the letter. Mr. Hamilton has said that we either need to reach out to them or that we need to place door hangers on their doors and let them know. And then we would do that, if we were doing that, we would do that on the 11th of the month
Yes.
prior to any cutoffs. And I agree with that. I think that we need to let folks know. But the 11th, they would be notified. They'd be given a door hanger or call or something to be told.
But then how long between the door hanger and we actually cut it off is it?
It's the same, it would be the same amount of time when y'all were sending out late bills back when, it would be the 21st would still be.
21st, okay.
8 AM on the 21st of the year cutoff.
Yeah.
I think,
If you get the door hanger, do you automatically have, I mean, you have the $10 late fee or whatever the
and
fee is.
then you have that $40 reconnect if you do not call and make, that's where that policy was, if you don't call and make a payment arrangement, or anything after the 20th would be a $40 reconnect fee added to your bill.
How many times do we allow a payment arrangement?
If they call before the 20th, they will get it, it just has to be paid before the end of the month.
In full?
Yes,
Okay.
in full, with that $40 reconnect fee. That policy that me and Charles sit down with is just reiterating what is on, that's why I say y'all a water bill agreement. When they come to do their new account, that's reiterating that, other than, we're just not gonna knock on the door because people are being really ugly.
Yeah.
So if we hang the door hanger, that takes care of that. Come to find out, when you look at texas.gov, which is what I sent y'all, calling is not sufficient either.
Or it's word by somewhere.
And it also states on there that because we own our water, we don't owe them anything.
But the code does state that we have to notify them.
Not if we own our own water. It's
Oh.
only if you don't own your own water and it's a third party. That's why you get a pink slip from TXU, or any other company that you use, because they're a third party with Encore. So that's why Hamilton sent this verbiage too. So like, I even sent what I had found over to Hamilton also.
I think it's a courtesy that we can extend to people and let them know we really don't want people's water cut off, and we want to give them an opportunity. The struggle here, and this is part of the day-to-day operation. There's a lot of things that go on that most of us don't think about unless you're involved in it. But the problem is often it's kind of the same people every month that don't pay their water bill, and so you have to reach out to them and tell them again and again, and so it's a problem. And honestly, I think our office staff does a great job generally of trying to get people in and to work with them. And if there's a problem, they try to work with them on it. So the idea of putting together some sort of format that folks would follow and know what was happening was to try to be consistent with what we're doing. And we just need to put in there the process for notifying them either by call or by a door hanger.
So with Hamilton saying the door hanger, I was going to reach out to the person I was printing and see if he could create us a door hanger that says disconnect. That also clears the guys from not having to knock on the door. They have the hanger on their door, so they don't have to knock. They don't get cussed out for that, or we get a call that we knocked on their door or called them, and then that gives them the thing. And Hamilton said we just need to keep a record of who we get. Well, we print out a disconnect list automatically after the 10th. So on the 11th, she does a deposit when she comes in. She prints the disconnect list, and whoever has not paid by the 10th is on that list. And that would be who we took the hangers to. Now, that's roughly an average of about 150 residents a month.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
That's about an hour. Why can't we take
150.
Well, that's what I was gonna,
Yeah.
And it's,
I was gonna say.
for instance, like, I didn't say back on all the bills for all the disconnect lists for the last 4 months, and it's average about 150. A lot of those people are reoccurring people, and a lot of those people are reoccurring people that don't pay it by the 20th and get disconnected. They are the same people every month. So we're chasing them down every month to pay their bill.
Yeah.
How many of those 150 per lot are waiting till the 21st how many of those do you
Well, it would probably be, one time we had 40 people on the disconnect list on the 20th, but by the time Charles and them got out there, or by the time they would call in to us, so it kind of got down to maybe 4 or 5 that you ended up cutting off. The problem is the guys are cutting them off and then backtracking to their house when they could just pay, because it's the same time all the time. Y'all not change the dates ever.
What if we increased the reconnect fee?
That's what David suggested too, was increasing the reconnect fee.
If that's legal.
I mean, you hit somebody in their pocketbook and they're going to start paying attention.
Yes, and after hours, we're paying overtime for it. Personally, that's why I put on there the next business day, because I had somebody call me on my personal cell phone one weekend wanting me to have a guy come out and put the water on it, and I said, I've been trying to contact you all week, and your family member came in and said you didn't have the money, so we're not cutting it on until Monday, sorry.
Yeah.
Do we, by law, have to provide water? Or do we just have to make it available to them?
We have to make it available. You can't deny them water.
Even if they have arrears?
Well, it's tough to cut somebody off, their water off, but we do cut them off. We have some people here in town that don't have water, and they've not had water for years. But we're not denying them. But if you don't pay your water bill, it would be like electricity. I mean, you don't pay your electric bill. Yeah, the folks at City Hall, almost every month, they have 100 to 150 people that they need to call, and they split it up among 2 or 3 people so that you're getting it all done. And I'm going to tell you all, I have folks who call me late, and if it has to do with water, I usually say, I'm really sorry that's happened. Right now, the guys have gone home, and I'll get them in the morning. I'll call them in the morning, but I won't call them back. So, you know.
Don't give them money.
They already have it. They already have it.
I'll say, go down to Terry Paul's, he's got cash in his house.
I will give y'all's email addresses,
Anyway.
though I will not give
So-
phone numbers, because I don't.
So, yeah.
Can I don't know if I can make a motion or not, because
Yeah.
it's not on the agenda item.
Yeah,
Can I make a motion that we increase the reconnection fee? Or
well,
does that have to?
that's not part of this
Okay, because
discussion.
I didn't know if I could
But
or
it's
not.
certainly something we can talk about. But let me tell you what happens. And Mr. Cunningham can tell you this. What it really means is it means more money that comes out of the ministerial alliance funds, because they
He
end
can
up.
say no, our church does, that you serve someone,
And-
you have all the record and you can deny these. I'm not paying your monthly bills.
Yeah.
I have you one time that I don't keep doing this.
There are a number of folks that do that. They'll do it one time and they
Otherwise,
won't
we're
do
never
it
gonna,
again.
we're never gonna do anything for
yeah.
yourself. They're just gonna
And
keep
I think
people.
you try to limit.
Oh,
it.
yeah, there's,
Yeah,
I do have no in my vocabulary, but, you know, it's just sometimes you.
yeah. But that's an issue we put on the workshop, actually, Chastity, if you put that on that. Do you have a motion to put hangers or sign, or notify folks on the 11th, by the 11th?
I would personally wait until we know if we're gonna change the reconnect fee, because that should be on the hanger.
Okay, so we'll put it on the workshop for discussion again, okay? All right, that
Do we
brings
need a
us
second
to
move it to workshop?
the last,
No, just no action taken.
Okay.
no action at this point, it'll just be on the workshop. The last item is changing the operation of the city, and it's suggesting, talking to Chastity and the folks at City Hall, they would like to suggest, if we do it, that we try this for say a month or for 6 weeks, and that we try closing on Friday, that they would work from 7 to 5, 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. They would work from 7 to noon on Friday, and we would try that for a month, and they would put notices out and not begin this process until July 6th. So we have a month to notify the public if we were to do that. That's their proposal. The question is, does the council want to entertain the notion of extending their day? And
If we did that, July 31st is a Friday,
okay,
which means, I mean, even though I guess the first of the month would fall on a Saturday, so it wouldn't affect anything.
Yeah, we wouldn't do cutoffs.
Well, no, I'm just thinking about people wanting to pay their bill for the next month.
Oh, yeah, they
but
have
you
the
wouldn't
drop
have
off box, and then we're also working with LexisNexis to put a link on our website. That is the credit card company y'all were going with originally, and they're actually gonna put something on the website where these people can go on and pay there too, but they always have the option of the drop box even when we're not there.
part of I know we also had a discussion, maybe rotating thing. It's hard when you have the number of people you have down there to do that. And it seems cleaner for folks if we go that direction, that we have an afternoon that they close, and Friday is generally pretty quiet. It's not a real busy time usually.
Would somebody be on call for emergencies? Or would that be just water?
That would be-
Just you?
If
Her
it's
phone is
something- Oh, yeah,
connected.
my phone is connected to
Her
Ring.
cell phone is
And
connected.
if anybody needs me, I go up there even when Lee had to go up there Saturday for the rental. it was leaking in the building, so we had to go up there for that.
So
I don't mind.
what happens on a holiday that falls on a Monday or it falls on a Friday and they're working so many hours during the week, but it's a holiday week or whatever, on either side, how does that work? Do they have to take vacation time? Do they have, I mean,
At the banner, if it's a holiday, we just get paid for the holiday, and you just don't come in and work your 6 hours, we work from 6 to 11. I mean,
you work on a holiday or?
no, I'm saying, if it's a Friday, which we work 6 to 11, and it ends up being a paid holiday, then we don't come to work, we get 8 hours, we get paid, instead of getting on about 5 hours anyway, we come out ahead, and no one's paying any different, it's all the day you work.
What if it's a Monday and you're still closing on a Friday at noon and they don't, I mean, I don't.
A lot of our holidays are
They
Mondays.
are.
Well, y'all's are, ours are, we only get 6 or 7, y'all get no lunch, so, yeah, I don't know about that.
How does this affect the utilities department? You guys work separate anyway. Y'all work early or how does that work?
We work 7 to 4 Monday through Friday.
You're not changing that.
They take all holidays.
So do I. But
And like I said.
So I don't know how that works.
It was just a suggestion, like, we could do it just for a month to see how it worked, or a few weeks, and it doesn't matter, either way. We're not gonna be mad, we're not gonna walk out on y'all or anything like that. It's just,
I
it was
don't
just a
see, I
suggestion.
don't see a need for the change. I will say that, but I also think it goes back to what we were talking about before, and the policy and letting them make the decisions that they want to do to operate their business. I mean, we hired them to do a job, to make those decisions. If they think that this would benefit the community, I mean, it is good that they bring it to us for consideration, but ultimately, I mean, I'm okay with them making decisions to be, they work 7 to 4, Monday through Friday, or to close early on Fridays. I mean, as long as it's not hurting anything, the mayor doesn't seem to think it would hurt to close early. And I think that's a decision that we can let them make. I will say, I don't think we need to try it for a month and then go back. I think that much switching would be confusing for everyone.
When
And
is,
I agree with that. The only reason I said that is just feedback from the community. I don't want the citizens to find a need that they need us on Friday and then it'd be a problem. So it was just, that's why I said that.
Well, I think hardworking citizens are gonna respect it, we'd like some time off as well, as long as they're taken care of. And those that keep giving you the trouble are gonna continue to keep being the problem or the trouble. Which isn't how it works.
when is payday?
It's automatic drafted. I do payroll and set it up to be put
So
into
it's
the
all direct
account.
deposit?
Yes, it's all direct deposit.
From a citizen's perspective, I think it might benefit them more to be open until 6, to do like 9 to 6 instead of
The only problem,
7 to 4, but that's.
I agree with that. I just have a couple employees that hours did not work for them. One of them has small children, the other one has, a husband, they have to get off to work and make sure he works nights, so she's kind of his alarm clock.
One of the things we talked about in the workshop, I think, was doing a swing to where some come in early, some stay late. You could do that with the employees and not have to change the hours of operation in City Hall.
see, I think that is more what the supervisor's role can be. I think that we set the holiday schedules. We set when the city's open. You know, for Charles to do 7 to 4, well, in July, that makes sense, right? I mean, it's hot. So, you know, those guys can't work all afternoon and, you know, there's some exceptions. But we're closing down an office that people expect to be open for permitting, for water, for court, those things. And I would rather see the office be open and they work it out so that if somebody, you know, on a rotating, you know, she's off this week and Lisa's off the next week and Demise is off the week after that and they just rotate it, that makes sense to me. I can't see closing the office down.
So the ladies that can't come in, they can't come in the hours we're talking about, 9 to 6, why can't those people work the difference on the Friday to make up for you guys that are gonna be off?
Yeah, they just, I mean, we can work it however, it's just, they told me today that if,
So if they just support
they said if we all couldn't work the same schedule and get off on the same day, then they were fine with us just keeping it open 8 to 5. And I had had conversations with them in the office, and so it's like one for all, you know, all of us do it, or we, you know, all stick together, so.
It
But I
gets,
appreciate,
yeah, it gets more complicated, I think, because
Yes.
then you've got people who they're doing vacation, or they're sick, or they've got this, and then you start bumping into problems. So it might make sense just to leave it alone.
yes.
Anybody disagree with that? All right, then we'll not take action on it. Is that okay?
Friday afternoon.
And you, Cassie, if you all just talk about it and you decide you want to bring it as a discussion, put it on the workshop and we'll talk about it again. Okay.
But I agree with Brandon, that would be one of those things as a supervisor.
Yeah, if they can work it out. Yeah. Anything else for the good of the order? All right, I'm going to call this meeting adjourned, and I believe it's probably 7:31. Thank you all, I appreciate you all. And Mayor,